Minister of Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Honorable S.K. Boafo, former and first Minister of Chieftaincy, the Chief Director of the Ministry of Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, my revered Nananom, invited guests, the press, ladies and gentlemen, let me officially congratulate the Honorable Minister, Honorable Asamoah Boateng, popularly called Asabi, on his appointment as Minister for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. We are honored to have such a dynamic personality as our minister. We know that you have been only a few weeks in the saddle, but have already started addressing issues of national interest. We feel highly honored to have you attend this meeting. Indeed, he was in the north the past 2-3 days, and he's come back. He's been there before, so he's already in the job. Honorable Minister, on behalf of the National House of Chiefs and on my own behalf, I welcome you, the new Chief Director, and your entourage to this meeting of the National House of Chiefs. I also thank His Excellency for giving us such a dependable person to head the Ministry of Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. Again, on behalf of Nananom, let me also thank His Excellency for upgrading the ministry to cabinet level. So, Nana Akufo-Addo, we thank you very much. The IMF $3 billion facility to be disbursed over a 3-year period alone will not lift Ghana out of the economic challenges. It won't lift us out of the woes. Government should therefore continue to pursue programs that will address the structural rigidities in our economies. For example, the One District, One Factory, One D, One F initiative is laudable and should be continued with even greater vigor to ensure that the One D, One F reduces our import bills and also increases our export earnings. Galamsey business. Today, Galamsey is the greatest threat to our survival as a people and our security as a nation. It is not the economic crisis. Galamsey has become a national albatross on our necks. Its devastating effects on our land, our water bodies, our forests, and forestry resources, on the lives of the illegal miners themselves, and on the health of the general populace are there for everyone to see. Our health professionals have reported increased cases of babies born with deformities, especially in such mining areas. In some communities, community members can no more drink water from the local streams and have to rely on pure water for drinking and cooking purposes. Galamsey is threatening cocoa production, rubber production, vegetables, everything. Cocoa has been the goose that lays the golden egg and should not be destroyed on the platter of instant wealth. The government might be very decisive in dealing with Galamsey, and we as chiefs must support the government in this fight. There is always a surge in Galamsey activities during election years, and I'm happy our minister is here. During election years, both the government in power and the opposition look unconcerned. During election years, as governments, both current and past, do not demonstrate enough political will to deal decisively with the menace during election periods. The fight against Galamsey must be inclusive and intensified and fought at all fronts, even in election year. As custodians of lands, We have a sacred responsibility to protect the land. It is our heritage. Our inability to protect the land amounts to failing in our responsibility and failing posterity. Posterity will not forgive us should we fail in this sacred responsibility. It is said that, and I quote, "We did not inherit the land from our ancestors. We borrowed it from our children and grandchildren." We should take a strong stand against galamsey, as in the words of Martin Luther King Jr., our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Declaration of LGBTQ plus as an abomination. Nananom LGBTQ plus is evil. We, the chiefs of Ghana, have been inundated by calls from our people to make an open declaration concerning the threat by LGBTQ. We, the chiefs, as the custodians of culture, the customs and traditions of our people, wish to state categorically that our traditions and customs recognize that our Creator, God, or Allah, and called variously by different religions, created man and woman to occupy the earth and procreate. There is therefore only male and female gender, and no other gender. The Christians' holy book, the Bible, Muslims' Quran, and our traditions and customs affirm these facts. It is therefore an abomination and against all our cultural values as Ghanaians to allow others to import into our country anything contrary to the above values that we cherish or we have cherished over the centuries. We, the chiefs and our subjects, declare that we will not allow any group to propagate any cause, conduct, or behavior called LGBTQ+, or similar, be it man marrying man, or woman marrying woman, or in any other form in Ghana. This is an abomination, and we declare as immoral and an affront and infringement of our cherished values. We call on the police and other relevant institutions not to allow this abomination into the shores of our beloved country. Of course, we are not calling only on the police, we are calling on ourselves too. We call on all Ghanaians to support the chiefs in upholding the decency and sacredness of our culture, our values, and our traditions. I thank you all for your attention.
My respected Nananom of the National House of Chiefs who are here today, friends of the media, ladies and gentlemen, let me stand on the existing protocols established by the President of the House. And I bring you warm greetings and best wishes from His Excellency the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Nananom, my role as your minister is to serve and not to be served. My doors are always open to you, so feel free to get in touch with me at any time. I've already started visiting some regional houses of chiefs and will continue to the others that I have not been already. The issue of LGBTQ, I deliberately refuse to mention the full name, and it's for a significant purpose. It's alien to us. And now you said it rightly, and I'm opposed to it myself. I've said so on countless occasions, and I can tell you, Nananom, our religious leaders are also opposed to it. So we do everything to protect our tradition and make sure we don't buy into any tradition that is alien. If there is a Bible that those who brought it didn't add it to it and they found it, they should keep it to themselves. We would develop on our own. And the people and government of Ghana recognizes the vital role that chieftaincy plays in our national development. And this is demonstrated by the provision of a whole chapter in our national constitution and the enactment of the Chieftaincy Act 2008 by my own brother here in 2008, Act 759. Chieftaincy is not only a custodian of our rich cultural heritage and traditions, but also a partner in promoting peace, unity, democracy, and good governance. In recognition of these human security-centered goals, the government of Ghana is committed to strengthening the chieftaincy institution and enhancing its capacity to contribute to the socio-economic transformation of our dear country. Indeed, the importance and respect for chieftaincy institution cannot be overemphasized. The ministry in which I am privileged to serve, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, is placed at the intersection of the value system of the nation. It is the heart of the nation, chieftaincy and religion. The convergence point that must coordinate the assets of our people and make us unique. Together with you, Nananom, we will champion a distinct development journey, drawing on our own tradition, customs, our rich culture, our value systems, and our current democratic dispensation to make our people live peacefully and excel in our socio-economic transformation. Sadly, though, Nana, President, successive governments have not made adequate resources available for the ministry to shoulder these responsibilities. But I am positive in my thinking and in my actions that given a little, I will turn it around, and I've proven it, God being my helper. Like the biblical Moses, who transformed slaves to become a fighting force, I intend to transform my directors and staff to have a deep sense of creativity and critical mindset to serve the chieftaincy and religious institutions. Let me begin with the policies and programs that this current administration has initiated to support the chieftaincy institution. It includes building the capacity of the Ministry of Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs to coordinate and facilitate the affairs of the chieftaincy institutions. And we have started training of our staffs already. The allocation of funds to the national and regional houses of chiefs to enable them to perform their statutory functions effectively. And since I came in, I've ensured that the quarterly allowances are dispatched even before the quarter ends. So the first 2 quarters are already with you. The 3rd quarter will reach you hopefully by end of this month. Approval for the construction of new office complexes for the Regional House of Chiefs in the 6 newly created regions. Contracts will be awarded very soon. We have contractors already being shortlisted, and the process of procurement is going on. So the 6 new regions will have your complexes started very soon. I hope I can finish before the end of the term of His Excellency, the President, who came to cut the short. The provision of vehicles, computers, furniture, and other logistics to enhance the operation of the National House of Chiefs and Regional House of Chiefs will be ongoing. There is also, I have also constituted a team in my office and have a board of advisors of eminent Ghanaian statesmen and women to look into the Chieftaincy Act 2008. And I have received some proposals which have been forwarded to Nananom, and I believe you have copies. And I'm told you are going to circulate them to the Regional House of Chiefs, and it will be amongst you to deliberate and get back to us so we can get back to Cabinet and to Parliament to make the needed amendments to the Constitution, or to the Act. One of them will be a chieftaincy fund that I'm proposing, that Nananom must be given a dedicated fund that would then help Nananom to move rather without resorting to the political leaders. The continuous resolution of chieftaincy disputes through mediation, arbitration, and adjudication by the National House of Chiefs and its judicial committees, even in the face of scarce resources, is also another ongoing program. We have also started consultations with development partners for possible funding support, which I am very much aware they've committed some funding to alternative dispute resolution mechanisms, capacity building for chiefs and queen mothers, and the staff of my ministry and traditional councils. We are proud of these initiatives that my ministry is supervising and are grateful for your cooperation and vital support. However, we are not complacent. We know that there are still many challenges facing the institution of chieftaincy. Some of these challenges include illegitimate and wrongful installation of chiefs. It includes interference of political actors and other external influences in the chieftaincy affairs. It includes inadequate documentation and codification of customary laws and lines of succession and practices governing succession in our chieftaincy matters, land tenure, and other aspects of chieftaincy. Some of the challenges also include inadequate representation and participation of women, especially our queen mothers, and the youth in the chieftaincy institution and other matters. Other challenge I've noticed is low level of collaboration and coordination among chiefs at various levels and across different regions. And I encourage Nananum to use the network and the platform you've got to be able to share ideas and reach out to each other so that you learn from yourselves. I intend to pursue these matters as the new minister in charge of the Ministry of Chieftaincy and Religious Matters as we go along. And as you rightly said, it has been established by the National Security Minister, and I have verified it myself, that about 70% of our security issues that are draining our valuable resources are chieftaincy related. Since my appointment, I have devoted a lot of my time out of the office and mostly going up and down. I just returned from the north where rumors, social media is making our people even panic when there's nothing to fear. Somebody sitting in his room saying that the Condemns are attacking the Gombes, and then the women and children started fleeing from villages. Yet there was nothing. I called the chiefs in these areas, and at 2 a.m. they were sleeping. Nobody was attacking anybody. Yet the rumor was going on. So we assembled ourselves, myself and the Minister for National Security and Defense, quickly had to go up to the north. And when we were there was nothing. But then, of course, if we had not gone and something happens, they would have said, yes, we were told or we heard about it, we never came. We went to assure them that nothing, no fight will happen between the Condemns and the Gombes. It's never happened, except 1994, the unfortunate incident, and that will never be revisited. I've also been to Boku, as Nana you know, and matters are coming down a little bit, but not totally. Obviously, there's an imposition of a curfew, but the matter must be tackled from the cause. And so Cabinet has decided to get a sole arbiter in the person of Otumfuo, the Asantehene, to have a look at it. And so matters have already started being addressed. Now, this kind of 70% of chieftaincy disputes affecting our security cannot be allowed to continue. It is therefore my singular objective to do all I can to work with all stakeholders to reduce these disputes down drastically. My view is that we must have a paradigm shift from the frequency in which these disputes are taken straight to the courts and put greater efforts into the alternative dispute resolution. Now we seem to have a parallel lines of judicial administration. Our own judicial committees are working obviously without resources, and I hope I can resource it. Luckily for me, the president has agreed to let me have some extra resources to move, so we can move faster. But the aspect where chiefs take their matter to the normal courts, seeking mandamus and other reliefs, doesn't help us. It's creating two parallel lines. So if we can, Nana, I would advise that you reach out to the new Chief Justice and have an arrangement that there will be a committee set by the National House and the judiciary so that any matter that reaches the courts would be referred to that group. And if it's necessary, mandated to go back and seek alternative dispute resolution of the matter. I wish to quote from a book written by the retired Supreme Court Judge, Justice S.A. Brode. The law is called The Law and Practice of Alternative Dispute Resolution in Ghana, where he referenced an Englishman, John Barton, written in 1990. And I quote, "A dispute is a short-term disagreement that can result in the disputants reaching some sort of resolution, in that it involves issues that are negotiable. If you contrast that to a conflict, which involves long-term, deeply rooted issues that are seen as non-negotiable, and we always use chieftaincy dispute. So it's a short term. It can be negotiable. We can negotiate it. I refuse to use the word conflict. Even the Boko one, I think, it's not even a conflict, it's a dispute. And these matters can be negotiated. Let us return to what in rendition in our language, let me use the Ghana phrase, Manche Obaya Sane. I'm sorry, Nananum, if I don't speak the Ghana properly, but it's Manche Obaya Sane. An expression in Ghana meaning that the chief must literally eat the matter for the parties. Nananum in Chi, we say, you could diasem no. Nananum would diasem. We literally going to eat the matter. And when we eat the matter, it's finished. Let's go to that rendition. It will help us. I will urge Nana President to reach out, as I said, to the new Chief Justice to set up a group to find a case where matters are always referred to the alternative dispute resolution. My second job I would want to do in this ministry, God willing, is the Chieftaincy Fund, and I mentioned it. It will go a long way to help you, so that Nananum, you do not have to depend on political actors to have your meetings or to act. You should be able to on your own with the fund. Because the state collects money, taxes. You don't collect taxes. And you are performing a role for us as a country. We must set up a fund. If we have a common fund, we can have a chieftaincy fund. It served us well for over 15 years, but things have changed. And it's time we begin to look at it. So the proposal in front of you is so important to the ministry and to the country. And if you look at the eminent people I've assembled in my office as my advisors, it includes eminent people, including my own brother and the former minister sitting on my right-hand side, and Professor Nabila and Justice Albert Bright Mensah, a lot of them. So have a look at it and let's get the response, and then we can do the amendments. I also intend to help you, Nana President, and your Nananum, for the codification of the customary laws and lines of succession. It's so important that we have to put resources there and get it right. And now my last one is the political season is coming with us. It's almost here, and you mentioned it. It is my job to make sure that we keep away from the noise of the political game. Nananum, let's all be very, very astute in the way we respond to politicians, including myself. We want some peace, and I believe the peace we have in the country, we should preserve it. And so we should be our own work keepers and make sure the political system doesn't bring any problems to us. These are some of the issues that we need to address collectively as stakeholders in the chieftaincy institution. We need to work together to preserve the dignity, integrity, and relevance of chieftaincy in our modern society. We need to work together to ensure that chieftaincy remains a force for good of our nation. I am here today to humbly confer and solicit your views, opinions, and suggestions on how we can improve the chieftaincy institution. I am here to listen to you and learn from you. I am here to engage with you and exchange ideas with you. I am here to assure you that the government of Ghana is ready and willing to work with you to advance the cause of chieftaincy institution in Ghana. Nana President, Nananum, my own brother, former minister, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for your attention, and I look forward to fruitful deliberations with you going forward. Finally, I humbly entreat our distinguished chiefs to uphold the dignity of our institution. May God bless us all, and may God bless our homeland, Ghana.